connecting, informing, and delivering adolescent SRHR information through virtual platforms in HIV and gender equality responses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Across the board, virtual advocacy programs are far few in between, often inaccessible and seldom offer context-specific support to adolescent girls and young women, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, which has been made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, Athena believes virtual advocacy spaces and programs are essential and should be taken seriously and supported with resources and sufficient funding. Athena believes that virtual advocacy is at the core of assisting adolescent girls and young women in the COVID-19 era to self-actualize and become self-determined leaders, driving interventions to achieve gender equality, universal health care, and ending HIV and AIDS, public health threat on the continent and beyond, while also equipping them with understanding, knowledge, confidence, skills, and support they need in order to make sustainable changes. How did we do this? So the Athena Network's What Girls Want virtual campaign was launched in May 2016 in partnership with Women's Civil Society to amplify AGYW voices, highlight their realities, and pass their solutions. It grew from a momentum of Twitter rally at the 60th Commission on the Status of Women when feminists and women rights activists united in calling for change. Athena established the What Girls Want virtual revolution, focusing on political declaration of high-level meeting on AIDS to ensure that international agreements and commitments are implemented. The campaign has since evolved to in-country WhatsApp groups in 10 countries of Eastern, Southern, and Central Africa. It engages adolescent girls and young women in social media activists who advocate for gender equality, HIV, gender-based violence, women's rights, and sexual reproductive health and rights for adolescent girls and young women in all of their diversity to improve their lives holistically by strengthening women's civil society, AGYW leadership, and accountability while amplifying the visions, perspectives, and rights of adolescent girls and young women in all their diversity to end HIV as a public health emergency and fulfill their most significant potential. Athena has reached 2,500 adolescent girls and young women to date using the in-country virtual platforms. There have been platforms that have continued to encourage the inclusion of adolescent girls and young women, meaningful participation in all their lives, locally and internationally, in spaces such as the SADC meetings, where the What Girls Want focal points brought findings from the in-country national SADC dialogues and AGYW perspectives to inform SADC meeting with National AIDS Council, Ministries of Health, and other stakeholders critical since September 2020. The PCB convening International AIDS Conference, CSW 65, Men Engage Symposium, the UN HLM, the HLM 2021 in-country consultations, and the HIV Adolescence 2020 and 2021, while giving them opportunities to access information about SRHR and access advocacy skills from skill building sessions of different workshops virtually. These were the findings that we had. So as adolescent girls and young women in all their diversity knows what they need to improve, placing interlinked strategies to achieve gender equality and improve their health and rights at the center of the HIV response, maintaining investments in women and women's civil society-led virtual programs, campaigns, and leadership, implementing urgent action to address the HIV/AIDS pandemic affecting adolescent girls and young women in all their diversity, and not letting other pandemics overshadow the current crisis the COVID-19 has. Availing full access to sexual and reproductive health and rights information and the means to realize and enjoy them. Creating opportunities for meaningful participation in decision-making and access the resources to develop sustainable solutions to improve their lives. In conclusion, the What Women Want virtual campaigns is transformative work for adolescent girls and young women, advocating for gender equality in the HIV response, sexual and reproductive health and rights, and achieving universal health care. It aligns with efforts to advance gender equality on the global development agenda, and the What Girls Want have said they needed to make these commitments effective for their lives and in their lives. The virtual campaign is part of a dynamic and ever-evolving vehicle to encourage meaningful participation of AGYW practices, policy influence, and interventions to improve their lives and have their voices heard. Thank you.